Welcome everyone to another session here in the London Maelstrom. Tonight is going to be taking place inside of a very, how about we put it this way? From what can be felt in this moment in time for Jennifer is nothing but just this kind of soft, strange, almost morass that your body is kind of surrounded in. All you can hear currently is just a simple pulse, a simple, almost kind of like a very, very heavy, huge, bassy heartbeat that thrums through your body as you swing through this morass. You're not really sure where you are. You're not really sure if you're not really sure what's going on, but you're certainly aware of what's happening to you. There's no fear in your heart in the moment. You're just kind of gliding through the strange experience at the moment. As you're kind of moving through this morass, you realize that you're lifting upward, and you come out of this morass, and you can begin to see there's this kind of this strange dark bluish with a kind of little sparkling pinks flowing through the strange fluid. It's getting in your eyes a little bit as you're kind of coming out of it. And above you, you're in the strange kind of dark cavern that's barely lit by what looks like this luminescent water, or this luminescent fluid, I should say, the substance that surrounds you. It seems to almost be blocked. There's bubbling pulses on top of the water. You see a heart raised above a large stone-like platform. It looks calcified. It looks like it's barely getting enough nourishment. It seems it beats with blood, but it seems to be missing something. What do you do?
She'll pull herself toward it.
You pull yourself toward it. You reach the shore of this rock material platform. As you kind of come out of it, you feel... Do you leave this fluid that's around you?
She'll try.
You get out of it. It's a little bit of an effort, because you just kind of... There's a calmness to the fluid. Even though it seems backed up and corroded, it seems like it's a better place to be than where you're about to step upon, while there's something that's compelling you about the heart and its beat that thrums and hums throughout this entire cave. You kind of feel like you're leaving behind something that's comforting you. But you can always jump. You feel you can, though, as you get out, you can jump back in whenever you please.
She'll go over to the heart. Is she wearing clothes? Is she?
Not that you can tell, although your body is still kind of covered mostly from head to toe with this strange bluish, pinkish liquid. The pink mainly emanating from these tiny dots that kind of look like you're staring into a river of stars of some kind in space. Very artistic, very the substance and material seem like something that you can't quite...
She'll look at the body of liquid for a moment.
Okay, we're still good.
Okay.
We're still good.
She'll look at the liquid for a moment and then move over to the heart.
The heart, looking upon it, you can see that all the different arteries kind of going into this section down deep into the platform, and you can feel the blood, the blood pumping down into the ground and into the ceiling, and you could see that there are these two big arteries that are kind of connected to its center, where the pools are, and you feel this thrum of energy. Again, there's blood. It's pumping. It's doing its job, but it's calcified. It's missing something. It seems hurt.
She'll touch it.
You touch it. It feels kind of raw and dry to the touch. It almost seems it's like touching upon someone's hand who's, filled with cartilage and, very, very dry and worn.
Okay. Can she feel?
Sorry.
Can she feel her magic?
Not so much. Doesn't seem it's there, but it's faint. There's energy. There's will. There's conviction. But there's something that needs to fill your heart, or this heart.
Okay. Let me think. So something feels missing. She'll kind of cup it with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
It's a large heart, by the way. It's huge. It's like bigger than you.
Oh,
kind of
okay. Right.
It's huge. It's giant.
Okay, giant heart.
So if you're cupping it, you're
holding
more
it.
Like holding it. Yeah.
No holes or anything in it?
No holes from what you can tell, although there are cracks.
Okay.
And it's very veiny.
She'll try to reach her hand in one of the cracks.
You reach your hand in one of the cracks, and you can kind of see its function. It functions a little bit better when you kind of cover and put your hand in there. You feel the blood pumping through. Very, very warm. Easy going, but you can feel that there's tension there, and that it seems to be seeking nourishment. That's what you feel. It's kind of flowing through you energetically into your arm and kind of buzzing in the neurons in your mind.
Blood's pumping regularly. She'll try to get her arm up to her shoulder in there. Does it seem like it's doing any better when she does that?
Doesn't seem to be making a difference, although there is a point where it seems to flutter a little bit. Okay. Or how about this? What does she think will happen when she puts her arm all the way, shoulder length into the heart? What would her first gut reaction gonna be? What would she think would happen?
For how it's reacting, she thinks it might be what it's missing. Maybe a missing part of a soul.
How about this? So here's what happens. Because of the fluid that was just on you in the water, you can see it seeping into the heart, and you can see the heart begin to almost repair itself, get a little bit better. Almost has this, it seems to be able to flow better. There's not as much resistance.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there anything around to scoop it up, any of that liquid up with?
No, not from what you can tell. But you can tell that there are these two kind of arteries, these two, jugular tubes that are kind of soaking in the water, mm-hmm. or in the fluid on the outside of this kind of platform.
Yep.
And you can also see that they kind of have these two different symbols on them, which you don't really recognize. And you can see that the fluid itself seems to be swirling around these jugulars, but it seems clogged. It seems like it can't get it can't get through. Like the fluid can't get in.
Okay. She'll go and take note of the symbols, and then try to redraw them on the heart.
One seems to be just a simple kind of circle with an array of various different kind of swirling shapes with dots everywhere. And then the other one seems to look just like it's just a circle with 4 dots. Red dots, by the way. 4 red dots.
Any particular look like a cross? If you were to connect?
Basically like a rectangle.
Gotcha.
Pretty long, but it's not perfectly symmetrical.
Okay. Okay. I see it. All right. Okay. She'll check and see if the arteries themselves are clogged. She'll get back down and kind of reach up in.
Yep, they definitely look clogged. They definitely, you can't really tell what's inside of them. Not necessarily, at least not at this moment. But it definitely seems like it's definitely clogged.
Okay. Can she try to kind of scrape out what it is?
Doesn't seem for any way for your hand to be able to reach inside and find what's blocking it. But you do get the sense that it seems to be like there seems to be a valve that's closed.
Okay.
You're just not sure where it is.
Okay. She'll go up to the heart and get a little bit of that liquid in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
She'll try redrawing the symbols on the sides of the heart it's supposed to be on.
When you do that, the heart starts to kind of flutter. Mm-hmm. And you begin to your thoughts kind of become a little bit disoriented as that happens. You kind of just... You kind of get these memories that kind of flash by, but my Firefox keeps crashing sometimes.
I'm surprised that it's like it won't even let me use Hangouts on Firefox.
Well, no, sorry, not Firefox, Chrome. I'm using
really?
it on Chrome.
That sucks.
Yeah, I can't use Firefox with it.
Yeah.
Google bastards.
Hold
on. When you draw the 2 symbols on the heart, there's definitely this kind of glow.
Mm-hmm.
And you can definitely tell that something's happening, although all you really hear is that the heart flutters, and you kind of sense things are kind of shaking in the room.
Okay.
A little bit. This is where things are kind of getting a little bit anxious for you.
She'll get back in the liquid real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Same sense of calm and everything with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Calm, fulfillment, needs, needs fulfilled.
All right, she'll go. Room's not shaking anymore.
Yeah, actually, it's calmed down. Actually, the heart itself even begins to kind of calm itself down.
Okay.
But it definitely seems to be in a panic, in like a somewhat panic state. It's steady. It's no longer fluttering, but it's still going bum, 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 a little bit faster than it was before.
Okay.
It's ringing in your ears.
She'll go back over to it.
All right.
Okay. Symbols aren't glowing or anything. They're just on the heart.
They're on the heart. There definitely seems to be a different quality to them ever since you've drawn them, but no glowing.
She'll nick her finger with her teeth or whatever, and then trace the symbol with the blood of her finger.
The the symbols kind of embed themselves within the heart, and veins begin to kind of writhe around it. You feel this kind of sense that the heart is almost in a strange sense beginning to heal itself. Little bits of the liquid from the two jugulars begin to pour in, but not as much as you kind of sense it needs to be completely fulfilled. It seems that it has a lot more work it needs to do. Everything seems to kind of quiet down. Your heart begins to flutter less. But you feel like all you've done was put on a Band-Aid.
Gotcha.
As everything just kind of... You feel suddenly out of nowhere the cave and the whole room and gravity and space and time kind of collapsing on itself.
Oh.
As you wake up.
I'll look around frantically.
Frantically, you're in your bedroom within Hazel's apartment. Very nice, richly made room. It kind of has little bits of. It's very almost kind of like a modern, clean design. The bed is really comfortable, and you kind of sink yourself into it. It's mostly black furnishing, clean cut. Kind of has this almost this marble obsidian kind of look to everything. The colors in here are very the darks are very deep and to the point where it seems like you're staring into the void of space, not in a very threatening way, more like in a very kind of a peaceful way. Some of the windows are slightly open, or at least the blinds are. And you can kind of see the evening sun kind of peering through.
Okay.
What you realize, though, is that you're not even on your bed. Your head has been kind of, you realize you've been kind of drooling on some of your study notes as you're surrounded by some of your books.
Huh. Okay.
So,
where does Hazel usually sleep at? I assume she'd still be asleep.
Well, usually she sleeps in her room. It's you notice that it has somewhat yours has a lock and some defenses, and when you lock it, it's tight. There's a camera. There's some cameras around the house for security. You feel safe here somewhat. You are living with a vampire.
Yeah.
Locked in with one.
So she has her own. She sleeps in her own room, and
she sleeps in her own room. It's locked. She doesn't like to. That's the one kind of thing is she says, unless it's a dire emergency, do not wake her up. That's something that she was usually pretty clear about.
That makes sense. I forget if can they even. Well, I guess they can wake up during the day, can't they?
They potentially could. Depends.
Okay. All right. She'll go get herself cleaned up and whatnot. Wash her face because there's drool. A
little bit.
Go get cleaned up and see about getting some food. And she's gonna kind of, while she's cooking, whatever. Cause, well, I guess Hazel doesn't eat, so like a simple bowl of cereal, and she'll recreate the symbols that she saw and try to get a drawing of the heart going. Okay,
so you draw that sort of thing, and as you do so, you kind of hear the sound, the tantalizing sound of snakes.
I look around.
So, in front of you, across the table, she says, "What? Sorry, go ahead."
She just appears like that.
Yeah, she's just there.
Oh, God damn it! She jumps.
Oh, come on, dear. You've seen me enough times now that shouldn't scare you now. She's wearing actually pretty casually. She's just wearing like a t-shirt and like these pajamas that just have all these like cartoony snakes on them. She's barefoot, but you can notice that she has very sharp toenails. She's quite, her skin seems nice, very almost olive-like, and she has these eyes that kind of sink into these creative vortices, and if you look directly into them, like we talked about through Messenger, you feel and see the quaking and the dynamic forces of the universe just at play with each other, constantly moving, constantly changing, shifting around. And you can kind of feel that on a microcosmic level too. So when you feel that of the universe around you, you literally feel it in the very essence and fibers of your very energy as a being unto itself.
She's going to avoid eye contact for this moment.
She says, "You missed a little bit." She kind of takes her finger out, which is pretty pointy, or sorry, her nails is pretty sharp, and just kind of wipes away a little bit of drool that you missed on the top of your lip. You just missed some of the drool on your lip there.
Did you do that?
Do what?
Give me that weird dream.
Your dreams are your own.
I'm
sometimes there to watch.
Did you watch?
What do you think?
Pretty sure you did.
Well, I'll let you guess. It's more fun that way.
I'm fairly certain you did. So, you recognize these symbols? She holds up a piece of paper. Really crappily drawn because I have no dots in that.
Well, I recognize this one. She shows the symbols of, or she points to the symbol with the strange, swirly squiggles and the odd arrangement of tiny little dots. None of it interconnected. No lines. Just it's all squiggles and dots. No jagged edges or anything like that.
And what is that one?
Well, it seems to be my brand. You can find it on certain places of people who tend to ward me off. Funnily enough, they don't realize that. Well, that's me.
Wow. Okay, and you have no idea what the other one is?
The other one? Honestly, not sure.
Can I roll a occult?
I'll let you roll perception enigmas.
Okay. Actually. See if I got that. I should have that.
Or intelligence enigmas, I think.
Nope, don't have enigmas. That's something I need to look into.
Okay, so... you do, but that's not quite it.
That's fine.
No, let me see if there's anything you got here. I'll let you make...
Occult sucks, too. Jeez. Oh, I should have upped that. Oh, well.
You're a beginner. Hey, and remember, you have Esoterica, which is like way better than Occult. So.
Yeah. What does that do? Look at what it does.
Esoterica is basically, like, Occult is like, you go on the internet and you look up occult stuff, and maybe some of it's true, and you kind of know the history of occult figures. Whereas Esoterica is, you know what Crowley did and how he did it, and what precisely, you know legit alchemy.
Okay. Yeah, it's better.
You know alchemy that's legit and worked through and isn't completely, well, it's sort of made up, but it's based off of awakened insight.
Gotcha. Okay.
So even though maybe your flavor of alchemy that you're studying or perfecting or making, it still has truths and connotations to it because it's a part of your worldview, right?
Yeah.
And you literally see reality on a deeper, more fundamental level than anybody else. Or than most people.
Yeah.
If you want to call yourself a person, that is. Anyway. So far, no. Well, let me see. Maybe an intelligence and awareness roll. How about that? We'll do that. Looking at it.
Let's see here. Awareness is also 1. So my awareness is also 1. All right.
Let me go into the dice room here.
5. Okay, let me pop open Discord.
You can do Discord, or you can do this roll. Sorry.
Whichever one is fine. Probably do rolls would probably be easier. You want to link me to it?
Yeah, I'll link it to it. was having a hard time just a second there.
Sure. Oh, you know, I have past lives with her. I just realized that.
You do. Let's just say this. Your past life... all you remember is people breaking into a... you were in some kind of home, like some kind of building, praying on some kind of altar, and you hear strange language and, people kind of knocking down and breaking down your door, and you trying to basically make sure that something was hidden. You're not sure what, though.
Oh, cool. Just big enough. All right.
We'll go with that.
Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, so how do you use rolls here?
1 second. Say one more time.
So how do you use rolls?
You just type in /roll, and then space, the number of dice, so 3d10, for example, F, the difficulty, and the difficulty for this we'll say is 7.
Okay. So intelligence plus awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Damn!
Right?
Damn! What's your specialty? Bright?
Yep.
We'll say that applies. So you got quite a bit. Okay, so you kind of look at it, and it kind of just snaps in your head what you think this symbol might mean. You're not 100% sure who it might be related to, but it seems pretty obvious. It seems like the 4 dots are like a vampire bite.
Oh. She just kind of smirks. The 2 things closest to my heart. Except for that. I don't want that. She crosses out the bite part.
What? Wait. What part does she point to?
The Medusa symbol and the vampire thing. Like when she's working it out, she writes down on a piece of paper, and draws the symbols. She writes the symbol equals Medusa for hers, and then the vampire one equals vampire bite. Then she's like the 2 things close to my heart. Then she crosses the bite because she didn't want that. She wanted to get bit.
You're saying that's what that means?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it was. Well,
she's probably given you a couple hickeys at this point.
Oh, yeah, but in M20,
you didn't seem to mind.
I didn't. But why are we discussing that? Anyway, you saw it. So, what do you think it was?
I don't know. Seems like you're missing something. Something's bothering you, or at least you feel like you're missing something. Something's missing in your heart. You can't just quite get it in. Maybe. I don't know. What's been on your mind lately? At least, what were the few thoughts that you had after you woke up? Besides, oh shit, this is weird.
Is she asking her that?
Yeah, she's asking her that.
Well, the word's a little more confusing now that I know she points to her quite dramatically that you exist. So,
out of character, say that one more time.
She said the world's a little more bigger now that she knows Medusa exists. She just kind of waves to her like dramatically, like, you're right here.
And then one of the snakes pipes up and says, "But of course it is.
See,
the problem with these dang humans. I don't know why you keep listening to them." She kind of speaks to Medusa, always thinking that everything they see is all that's there. It's preposterous. Kind of just eyes at you.
She's a little perturbed. Kind of backs up a little. They do that often.
Oh, I have to hear all their whispers all the time. After all, they're in my head.
Ha!
They can
Ha!
be quite outspoken sometimes, isn't that right, Dixna? I don't like her.
I don't like it.
They almost kind of have a look, and like Medusa kind of shifts her eyes to almost no, kind of look in her eye, and then the snake just kind of curls back up with his brothers and sisters within her.
She'll let it
Strangers on her.
do its thing and not bother it. That's very very disturbing, right there.
Well, you're in a very disturbing world. It makes quite a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yes, kind of in a way.
Mhm.
Um,
Might as well have a little bit of a reminder, right?
between
Besides,
that,
you'll get used to it.
the snakes talking in your head.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe you'll have your own.
I don't want any snakes talking through my head.
Well, reality. Well, the world around you can be like a coursing river that you're in no control of. Who knows? Maybe since you're so simple-minded, perhaps I'm just a symbol of your destiny. She just kind of smiles, almost kind of cheekily.
Are we talking about halting somebody and randomly appearing and staring in their eyes kind of thing? Or are we talking about getting my head cut off and then put on a shield?
She kind of, seems to kind of take that in for a moment, and she says, "I don't know. I still have tons of work to do, so I'm still around. Perhaps tales of my death were highly exaggerated, or perhaps that head didn't really matter because I had become something more, and they didn't realize it."
So you're like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is that what you're saying?
She just kind of looks at you like, Obi-Wan?
Oh, I have to show you Star Wars one day. It's a good movie.
Star Wars.
Mhm.
What are the Wars in the Stars?
No, it's a basic thing. They kind of think it's based off of like a Roman Empire thing a little bit. And it's more of a science fantasy than a science fiction. Yeah, good versus evil. Main thing.
Oh, good versus evil. Always classic. I remember when I got to, at least for humanity, and I got to play what was evil. What do you believe is good and evil?
I don't know anymore.
Well, that means you're learning.
Well, that's kind of where I'm stuck. You see, I've been thinking about it, and I assume there are a bunch of gods because you're here, which means that kind of verifies the whole Greek mythology thing.
Perhaps, or maybe I'm just a creature that people thought was Medusa, and I'm not even this Medusa at all. There are many possibilities, Jennifer.
Well, okay. Then what are you?
I'm an old friend.
You couldn't get much more vague than that.
Well, I mean, I guess it would be kind of like asking you, what are you, Jennifer?
Well, see, seeing as the things I know now, there's probably a lot more to that than I know.
Solid question. We're all mysteries in our own right. It's a hard question to answer. So it's probably a very vague one, too.
So do you worship any gods anymore? Or God? Or whatever?
I never really thought it mattered that much. Never had anything to do with me. I had my own business to take care of. Right?
Well, I mean, if you're going by the legend, it kind of mattered a little bit.
Yes, it definitely did. Although eventually over time when you kind of get immersed, you learn to keep those things in the back of your mind for the future, but you eventually move on. You get a wider perspective. As much as you abhor what happened. And remember, people base these stories off their own misfortunes and their own experiences, and they put the gods' faces on themselves. Perhaps that was just a story.
Could have been.
Could have been. But then again, it's not too unbelievable. You see a whole new world around you. You have, well, your imagination becomes real. How about that? So maybe it isn't too impossible either. What to choose? What to choose? I can see all those thoughts rattling in your mind over and over, trying to choose one thing, and it just pops up because it doesn't make sense. And oh, we're going to try something else. And then you just can't seem to quite stick to what you want to think about things, can you?
No. She just gives her a blank look.
No. No, not at all.
Well, that's the thing.
That's going to be a big problem.
Hmm?
That's a big problem.
Well, a little bit. Well, you have people like, what's the, I assume she knows who the Celestial Course are and everything, right?
The who?
The Celestial Course. I assume she knows of them, at least, who they are.
Yes. She knows of them.
Well, see, that's the thing. You have people like Celestial Course who follow, I guess, for lack of a better term, God. So, but I can't wrap my head around that concept given that, well, like I said, you're here, at least in this form. So to me, that adds some kind of merit to the fact that there are multiple. But then at this point, how do you define that? Because I can turn this piece of paper into gold if I want. So then, how do you define God at that point? You see what problems I'm having?
Well, with the world, imagine how it was for you when you were driftfully ignorant of everything around you. How would you imagine God then? If you, let's say, did or didn't, if you did or didn't believe, it doesn't matter. How would you conceptualize God if you were to believe?
I guess an all-powerful being that I never believed in destiny, but kind of put us here and gave us, free will, and we just made the best of it. But omnipotent, I guess, would be the best way to put it. And I guess, well, at the same time, you can have people using, knowing the future now, or what's going to happen and such.
And with your new insight, with your new mind, walking out and managing to truly see everything for what it is, get right on touch with that knowledge. And she speaks in a very Greek. She says in a very Greek, the Greek accent. Gnosis. Gnosis. How are you? How would you have to try and imagine God with what you see now?
I don't think I can.
Perhaps that's the answer. Perhaps that's the fool's way to think that they can define as something that's even something that's even remotely enigmatic. What if God is wordless?
Well, then wouldn't that kind of eliminate the whole Celestial Course view on things? I mean, they believe there's something for certain.
There's something for certain, perhaps. I don't know. Then again, some people, there's still plenty. For some people, it seems as obvious, like the chorus, and there's some people that doubt the existence at all, and there's some who are seeking who can't seem to find it, even though the answer is right under their nose. Perhaps some people try to articulate for people.
Mm.
I mean, do you want other people to have the knowledge that you have?
Do I want other people to have it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Why?
They're missing a lot. A whole lot.
I suppose that's fair. But remember, think of the whole spectrum of humanity. Imagine what they have. If they had what you had, and maybe you should rethink the question, or maybe not. Maybe everyone does deserve it.
Well, are we talking about the knowledge or the ability?
The knowledge is the ability. The ability is the knowledge. You can do what you do because, on some fundamental level, you understand that you can. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess that kind of. See, I'm not. Well. Hmm. Well, it was never really like that, though, right? Not everybody could do, you know, magic and whatnot back in the past. So, but things change at some point.
They do.
Well, they did, like at least from what I've been taught. But well, I guess I wouldn't want everybody to be able to do it. Again, I'm not sure.
Seems like we keep getting back to the same answer of we're not sure.
See, this has been my problem for the last couple days.
She kind of, seems to contemplate something.
What?
Well, I'm not going to be the biggest help, to be frank with you. I'm just going to keep poking and prodding and making you ask questions. Who knows? Maybe you don't even need to. Maybe you don't even need to answer it. Maybe you're beyond such things.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I could just. I'd kind of like to settle, but I guess I don't need to.
No? And how could you settle in a world that constantly changes and moves? Especially, I can see that in your eyes.
She avoids eye contact. I'm not doing that.
What do you think? I just only see reality with just these eyes? And she kind of points to the two. I can always see your eyes.
That sounds a little creepy. Just not sure if you're aware.
I'm aware of many things. Not just one dimension of a statement.
She will pull out her phone, pull up that picture, and point to it, and put it away.
Oh, that picture, the
Medusa from the show.
Sorry?
The Medusa from the show.
Why are you showing me that god-awful picture for?
Because it's hilarious.
Why is it humorous to you?
Because it's so different.
Poorly designed. No sense of art.
It has the whole eye cover thing. Does that make it feel better?
Not really. I find my eyes quite beautiful. I don't think I need to cover them up.
They're like purple in that one.
Oh, purple. I guess it's somewhat apt. Purple being one of the more valuable colors, for its rarity.
Romans liked it.
Why are you so caught up on this whole belief thing? Well, I know why, but I want to hear it from you.
I guess because I'm never really sure when I'm going to die. And I kind of want to settle that up. given all the weird stuff that's happened around here lately?
Well,
I mean, not planning to or anything, but
what do you expect to have happen after you die?
I don't know.
What would you want to have happen?
Reincarnation.
She almost has like a look of, like, kind of. She says, "Reincarnate just here."
Yeah.
Well, perhaps you'll find your answer in that.
Yeah. I mean, well, the big thing. How do you say the craft name?
Slificati.
The Suffolcati believe is we all came from one thing.
That indeed seems to be the general mark amongst many different societies.
So, I guess reuse energy.
It's a good recycler.
Yeah. Send us all back. Do it again.
I find that quite a limiting view, though. She just kind of seems to kind of look to the side as if she's kind of contemplating, what you're saying. She kind of looks to you and she says, "What do these Slificati believe? Well, beyond that, do they believe in a soul?"
I think that's up to personal view. I would think.
Do you think you have a soul, or did something happen to it, or do you not think you even have one in the first place?
Well, some days I'm not sure that you're not my soul.
She just kind of smirks.
But I'm pretty sure I have something akin to that, whether it's you or something else.
Well, do you think it dies with the body?
No.
And where does it go?
Well,
If not in the material, then where else?
Well, I used to think it went to heaven, but now I'm not really sure.
Heaven is just one of many places. So perhaps you're right. I mean, you can already see the infinite little realms within everything, the energy that came from that one. I wonder where else the soul goes. Perhaps that's something to search for answers on.
Write some notes down.
I'd say focus on finding your soul, Jennifer. Your belief is in there.
Still writing a list. Is she watching what she's writing?
No, she doesn't seem to mind or care.
Where do you think yours goes, or went, or where it is?
I don't think death is even real. Or life.
You don't think life is real?
I don't think the distinction between the two are. I thought I died when I was violated by that man, and yet I still went on. I thought I was going to see the end of everything when I saw it, when my head was removed from my body, and yet I still went on. And on and on and on and on.
And now you're a woman with purple hair and a miniskirt.
I could do worse.
Good. I think there are worse pictures. Well, that's an interesting way. Well, I guess if you look at the soul as energy, you know, one realm is just as different as the other, about the same. It's still going someplace.
Perhaps. It's a pattern. You think of it as a pattern of energy. What's in that pattern?
Personality.
That seems pretty basic. You're telling me the fundamental essence of who you are is where your personality is contained. That seems a bit.
No, other way.
Oh, 1 second.
No problem.
Alrighty. So, sorry.
No problem.
You were saying?
She was just mentioning personality and soul. Well, yeah, I think. I don't think. No, I guess. Yeah, I do. I think the personality is housed in your soul.
Well, at least it's a start. She kind of looks behind her, and then, she kind of, around the corner, you see Hazel come in. She says, "Who are you talking to?" And all of a sudden, you don't see Medusa. Before you can even blink, you don't really see Medusa there anymore.
I assume she's seen Medusa before.
Once while you were walking down the street, and, you were talking to this, she thinks she's an acquaintance of yours, but she hasn't seen her in the house.
Oh.
Or in the apartment, specifically.
I was going to share this. Medusa. She was just here.
Medusa.
Yeah. Her accent changes immediately.
She kind of just says, "You mean that woman that you met the other day? You were on the phone with her, or something?"
Yeah.
Or wait, can't you just talk to each other long distance or something like that?
Some can, yeah.
But you can't.
No.
Fair enough. So how are your studies going, sweetheart?
I had a weird dream. Just show her the notes, which is consisting of 4 random symbols. The thing I mentioned with the symbol vampire, and then something crossed out next to it, Medusa symbol. Search for soul answers and show Medusa Star Wars. On the piece of paper she shows her.
Show Medusa hasn't seen Star Wars.
No.
What the heck? Okay. She just kind of shrugs and she gets out a bottle, or I should say a glass from the fridge. It seems to be just a red kind of drink. You start drinking through it as she wakes up.
Really gross.
Yep. She's kind of she kind of looks at it as if she's kind of disgusted by what she's drinking. And wait to get something fresh later.
That's
you busy? You busy later tonight?
No, I don't have any plans.
That's good.
What do you have in mind?
Well, aside from perhaps helping me with something, I thought we could always have some fun.
Okay.
You've been a bit busy in your own bedroom, and I like to share.
That's fine. Sounds good.
Seems like something's on your mind. What's up?
Oh, I've just been looking into meaning of life.
Is that all you may just think about?
I don't think so. I think I'm just at that point where I'm curious, and it's a lot. What do you believe?
What do I believe?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean specifically?
You believe in God?
Some other vampires do. I mean, I haven't really seen much. But hearing more and more what's going on, I don't know. Maybe there is something. Which kind of frightens the hell out of me, considering the some of the tales you hear about us.
Heard a couple.
Yeah, well, we are sometimes referred to as the damned.
So, how long have you been about?
She kind of, almost kind of, not squirms, but she just kind of rides in her chair a little bit. She seems to think, apparently not long enough.
It's very vague.
Welcome to the supernatural, sweetheart.
I don't think age would make it any better. I have a feeling it would just make it more difficult.
Well, in some ways you could think of it like this. Vampires don't really... You have to be very self-aware and conscious to really grow up as a vampire. If you've seen a vampire who's 50, they probably are for maybe longer than most 50-year-olds, but they're still 50. You lot seem to be capable of just, growth and all that.
Well, I guess that's part of when you get turned. I guess that things kind of stop.
Yes. Pretty much everything stops. You can kind of use a little bit of the vitae to kind of make yourself look young and alive again. And you can tell that she does have this kind of grayish kind of tone to her. There's almost this kind of blue kind of tint over her pattern. And she has this kind of, brown haircut with two bangs kind of coming down to the side. Things just kind of stop.
She'll move and sit sideways on her lap. Yeah. Put arms around her neck. So, I don't think you've ever told me how that whole thing happened.
You want to hear that story?
Curious. Well, I threw some questions in the side thing.
What's it? And she just kind of lifts you up and says, "Well, what's in it for me?"
I can write you a paper on atoms and how they work.
Will it? Can it have anything to do with biology?
If you want.
I'll take it. Fine. I'll tell you the story. And she kind of, she picks you up and, kind of takes you over to the window view.
Does she seem to have trouble doing that at all?
No.
That's right.
Not at all.
Okay,
it's effortless. It seems almost effortless for her.
That's frightening. So OC, does she have any idea what clan she is?
No, you have no idea quite just yet.
That's horrifying. And then, because Tiger he kept ducking it, and I'm like, I don't know if it's because she hasn't said or just because he hasn't picked one. And then the other one is the vampire biting thing. For some reason, I have a thing in my head where they get bit, they lose their avatar, but I don't think that's true. Was that
well? It's there's a lot of debate about it. How about that?
Okay. All right, I'm good. She'll let herself be carried around.
She kind of props you down on the kind of living area, and you can see the rest of London, the city, the round like city, kind of somewhat mostly at your view. You can see other buildings kind of surrounding yours, and you can see the shining lights kind of pipe through the night skies. The sun is pretty much finally setting. You can see that there's almost a little bit of a tint in the window. There's an AI in the house, and sets the alarms, the security, everything identifies you as you come in.
Jesus.
And she says, "Yeah, it's this place is decked out."
So she's okay, and this is like all her money, right? This has not been anything that Danielle's or not Danielle, Jennifer's had to pitch in. Like,
If I remember from your backstory, she's pretty much covering your
yeah,
room and board, right?
okay, yeah. I just didn't know she was that loaded. That's
She's got connections.
yeah, I'm sure she does.
It's a basic AI. It's nothing fancy, but it's a well made place.
Yeah, I'm scared.
You're the one who wrote on your sheet that there's vampire shit going down with your character.
I did. There was a lot more before I finalized.
Oh God, alchemists and vampires. What a joke.
Yep.
Okay. So she sets you down on the couch.
Yep.
She says, when I was younger, I did a few more things than just, let's just say I didn't do this whole university funding thing at all, this gig. Before I was on the streets like a lot of kids. Before I didn't really have anything to my name. I don't really remember my parents or who they were. None of them ever seemed to have any kind of... They don't seem to matter much in my memories anymore. I didn't have a dollar to my name, but I usually saw opportunities talking to people, learning things from them. That's usually how I got any bit of education. I knew a lawyer that knew a little bit about the law and how I could skirt things if I got in trouble. Talk to a mathematician if I wanted to learn about math, when he would hang out at the diner and buy me a snack.
Is her accent changing?
No, she's speaking British. That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me being bad at doing accents.
No, you're fine. I'm not
really trying to do one. That sort of thing. I learned things about people. And then other people that I knew wanted to learn some things about those people. Gave me some cash. I'd let them know. And once I got some money, I heard about people who had drugs. So I'd take those drugs, go somewhere else, and sell them at a higher price where I knew they were in higher demand. Started making a little bit of money for myself. Started making connections. Started distributing. That kind of thing. I had a nice little information network. I knew everyone. Everyone had at least a stake in me. Unfortunately, I thought I owned the city, thought I could do whatever I want, that I could threaten whoever I wanted, and that I could that nothing could touch me because I had everyone's secrets. Well, suddenly those secrets became too much of a liability, and too many people wanted me dead. Found me, broke into my home. And then she just kind of goes quiet. I don't really remember what happened after that.
She frowns and she'll go give her a hug.
She kind of gives you a tight hug back. A little bit like, it's gentle, but you can kind of tell that there's a lot of force behind the hug. If it could come, you could feel that it could.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
She'll rub her back, try to get her calm down.
She does. She kind of holds you up. Next thing I know, I wake up in some graveyard. See this stupid looking idiot with an afro. Yeah. Can you believe it? Horrible death. And I wake up to black dynamite. Or at least, And he kind of gave me the rundown on things. I did a few deals for him. Told me a few tips on how to not have that happen again. Eventually, I managed to make enough money to where I could afford to change my identity, make some investments, and here I am. Here with you.
Let's give her another hug.
Just kind of gives you a more gentle one. Just kind of kisses you on your forehead. It's cold to the touch when she kisses you, but it's almost kind of like here's what's weird. Roll me your perception awareness.
Okay. Let me see.
Difficulty, since you're pretty close together, difficulty 5.
3. Okay, let me pop them rolls. I just got 2 monitors, so it's been interesting navigating both of them. Here. Okay.
Congratulations on the upgrade.
Thanks. All right, so you said slash roll, and difficulty 5. You said.
Yes. Well, it's cold and it feels funny, but you love her.
Okay. Now, another OC. I assume she's been taking information that Jennifer has on like the Sabbat and stuff.
Yep, she's been taking it in. She's been taking it here and there. It's basically, you two still love each other, but there's definitely a thing of, hey, help me out a little bit here and there, and you don't have to feel bad about about having a sugar mama. This is what she said.
It's fine. And have they heard about the issue that went down with the Harbingers recently?
I don't know anything about that yet. I'll have to ask Tiger.
Okay. I can fill you in with what I know if you want.
Well, I should ask them. So, what's been going on? What's been the happenings in the universe of my little magic girl?
Well, one of the mages I know disappeared.
Well, that's awful. What happened to them?
I'm not really sure. She we used to go meet up, and she disappeared, and then the Arab fellow I knew disappeared too.
It seems to happen to you mage folk quite often.
Yeah.
People tend to just disappear.
I
remember a friend once. He had a mage friend. Apparently, he betrayed us and leaked some information we gave to someone else. We're trying to find him. One day, girl came up to us, fellow kindred, and just said, "Won't have to worry about it." He up and disappeared.
Huh.
Seems that mages tend to solve our problems for us.
I can. Anything new going on your end?
Well, apparently the Sabbat are being quite quiet. It's hard to really hunt them down. A friend of mine, though, gave me a little bit of a package. Managed to do a little bit of deep digging within the Sabbat. Managed to steal some files. And what was really smart about hers was apparently she managed to find the decoy ones that we were meant to find, and managed to get some of the legit stuff deeper within one of their warehouses
This is in London?
in London.
Huh.
Seems that strange happenings are afoot. Certain companies that typically are associated with the Sabbat have been engaging in more trade and causing a few disruptions in the political scene here, at least. Here and there. More of those companies buying up warehouses. That's vampires for you. A lot of boring names on paper sheets, and a move might be being made.
I remember them meaning a little more. I guess that could be different culture too.
What do you mean?
They were really aggressive in New York.
Yeah, well, the Sabbat, just like any other group of people, messed up people, fucked up people, but still people. They, everyone's a little bit different. Everyone has their own style.
It kind of looks a little blank. She's like spinning like a pencil in her hand. Um, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
Was it something I said?
No, it's about sucks.
You want to talk about what happened with you? You never told me what happened.
Oh. Um.
I mean, I heard the synopsis.
Well, there's the whole thing with and the
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No, that's fine. You just told me your thing, so I can share. Um, my mentor took me to work with them. He was selling them weapons and giving them warded things and stuff to kind of give them an edge so they could try to take back New York. I met a woman named Lindsay. She was a somber priest, and I was like 14, and she's attracted to me, which should have told
She
me.
she looked shocked. Oh my god, those fuckers.
Yeah. So she kind of seduced me into dating her, and the Sabbat aren't the most humane group. She got kind of abusive at the end.
She looks angry.
I mean, that's just what they do. That's just how they are. They don't view humans as people. They just view us as food. And some people play with their food. So, a couple years of that, and I finally just ran off. Left my mentor and left them. But I got some useful information out of it, and give it to people here and there when I need to. Went to Florida after some hitchhiking. I got started getting more things from Medusa. and kind of took me where I needed to be, and joined up with the Slificati, and trained, and went back to school.
No, I mean the moment you became what you are.
Oh, that was earlier. I was 13, and I remember waking up screaming, but I couldn't hear myself. And
Jeez.
I saw Medusa sitting there, but I wasn't in my bedroom. I was in a cave, which actually makes a lot of sense now. Um, she had the snakes in her hair, and it was really scary. And but I woke up, and I had my first period. All that happened.
Quite awakenings in more ways than one. My, yikes.
Yeah, it was a little scary, but that's kind of what the legend made her out to be anyway. She was this big evil monster that turned men to stone, and snakes in her hair, and all that horrifying. She's a big lump of sugar, really.
She's a what?
A big lump of sugar.
Oh, is that so?
A troll.
Just,
She's a lump of sugar.
what do you mean by lump of sugar? I never heard that expression before.
Oh, she's sweet on the inside. She's just arrogant, and maybe that a tinge.
She kind of like almost like looks at you like,
What?
Oh, nothing. Just making an observation.
You made it with your eyes. You didn't say anything. Besides,
Well, then, we agreed. I didn't say anything.
But yeah, so that's how stuff started. The whole woke up at 13, ran away from home.
Why'd you run away?
Um, I started having weird dreams, and I didn't quite have control of things. Stuff kept happening around me, and at one point I turned my bed into gel by accident.
You can do stuff like that?
Well, I can control doing stuff like that, sure.
You're not a ticking time bomb or anything like that where you could explode, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, I guess we'll
We'll find out.
we'll find out. But nothing that you know of or you were told.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, the only thing that I think bad, the two things that, I don't know if Lindsay's ever going to come looking for me, but I doubt it.
Well, depending on how the Sabbats keep their assets, you have knowledge. And that knowledge can be used against them, so why do you think I'm trying to keep you safe?
Yeah, there's that. And my mentor's not heard from me in a while, but I don't know that he'll pop back up.
Well, I guess we'll be ready for it. Right?
Yeah, I've got ideas. Turn his skin to lead.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm going to get a squirt gun. I'm going to squirt him with what looks like water. It's going to turn his skin to lead.
She almost seems she looks like really impressed. I like that. Hey, could you do that with silver?
I probably could. Do I want to know?
Well, if we get in trouble with any big furries, try to do that, but with silver if you can.
I'll add that to my list. She takes the paper back, goes in the other room, gets the paper, comes back out. Silver squirt gun.
You write down pretty much everything. Any idea that comes to mind, eh?
I'd like to have it in my head. Where's my paper? Have you had any problems with any big furries?
No, and I hope I never will, and just in case.
Are there any in London?
Not that I know of, and not that I care. Usually, those guys don't really hang out in the city. Apparently, they get bad vibes. But for the most part, it's the woods you want to stay away from. It's their turf.
I don't think I'm going to take any walks in the woods anyway. I'm not big on the whole tree thing. Okay. Would she know about fairies?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let me look at her watch.
She may.
Oh, Laura's on a sheet. I do not. That's something I have to bring up to Tiger. It's just to have 5.
I'm mostly saying that as ask. Asking character.
Okay. Do you know anything about the fairy folk?
I don't know a damn thing.
Okay.
All I've heard about them is that they're weird and that they like to drug people. You want me to know? You want me to tell you about the vampire world? I can tell you a lot. The other supernaturals. I don't really know anything about them. I'm a business gal. I like to keep things right in front of me.
Okay. All right. Clan. What clan are you?
Well, you told me you're Solificati. And I trust you. Just don't tell this to too many folks.
Okay.
You know how all about the vampire clans and stuff like that, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I know what the Spot had. And murmurings of other ones from the ones in there.
I'm Bruja.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yep.
Seem a lot more level-headed than the other ones I've met.
Well, let's just say your pretty face calms me down.
Oh. She smirks.
And she's gonna... And yeah, I hope you do realize that, right? Because when I picked you up, you looked like a broken puppy.
Like, when you first met me, or? Like a
yes. When I first met you, you looked like a broken puppy. So you better know that you're beautiful.
Well, I've been told, but, you made things a lot better.
I'm glad. But you do know that, right? You didn't quite answer the question.
What, that I'm pretty?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
She just starts laughing.
She just kind of looks at her.
Yeah, you're not just okay. You're fine. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
She shrugs.
Not one I've ever had sex with.
Oh.
And I want you to know that because she kind of pokes you a little bit. It's because you need to. But hey, take your time with your self-esteem. But I want it going up.
I mean, I can look really white trashy if I really want to. I know how to break that out.
I can't even imagine you being anything close to white trash.
I will pick up a pair of Daisy Dukes from the store and a white feeder top, and I can make it work.
You would be You would be the hottest redneck ever in the history. You would look hotter than any of the fucking Hollywood bozos out there.
I could do overalls.
Yes, you probably could. You could make anything look good.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of fidgets with her pencil.
You could get any clothes from any closet and they would look good.
I need to find something from the 70s now.
You could probably pull it off. That's how good you look.
Could do an afro.
I'd like to see that. She kind of crosses her arms. That could be fun.
She starts playing on her phone.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk to me about?
Nothing comes to mind.
All right then. Well, I wanted to show you something.
Ooh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so
She kind of sits back down.
okay. So in the okay, well, OC 2 questions. In the Sabbat, I know the little thing isn't really embraced, but I assume it's been talked about in there, since that's where the paths kind of focus.
Lilith? Sorry?
Out of character path of Lilith and stuff.
I don't know too much about Vampire.
Okay.
Or the Sabbat, really. But I think Path of Lilith, it's more like embracing pain.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I forget if the Sabbat deal with that. I know it's in the book, so I assume some of them do.
The Sabbat deal with a lot of paths.
Yeah.
But I know Death and Soul is one. I know... Path of Lilith, I know, is one. Maybe there are probably a few others that they enjoy.
Trying to think. I know somebody called the Path of Lilith heresy. I didn't know if it was the Can that did.
Well, the Camarilla tries to stick with humanity. Maybe. Yeah, Path of Cain would probably be one. Probably the Path of Cain. Faith.
There it is.
Yeah.
Among the Sabbat, the path is referred to as heretical.
Oh, really? The Path of Lilith?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, because they disregard Cain as being superior.
Yeah, but I always think the Path of Cain would be the most popular.
Spot,
because it's literally all about the Book of Nod and how Cain is awesome.
Okay. I assume she, with at least one rank, so she would know that. Or she's got 3, so.
Yeah, you'd know, with Sabbat Lore 3, you'd know a couple of the paths they use and talk about. Not in great detail, but you know some things.
Okay, so...
You know the general idea. You know that paths exist, and you can name a few and what their basic tenets are. Okay.
Would she know that they consider the Lilith thing heretical?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I need. So, in the Sabbat, they follow different views on, I guess, life, ethics.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay. And then I have another OC question. Mages, Lilith, how do they regard her? I think she has like one rank for her.
She is like a kind of considered a legendary figure. Let's see, what do you got here? What lores do you have?
They're not listed. Because I didn't know we got lures for free when I made her.
Oh.
I didn't find it later. She'll have, I have to say something to talk about that. She'll have a dot in, so I can't say it.
Solificati.
I'm going to get that down, I'm telling you. Solificati, Mage Lore.
What would you say you're going to put Mage Lore at?
Let's see. I guess 2 would make the most sense.
When it comes to Lilith and mages, I mean, you hear some women, some witches worship her in
Okay.
different ways, in all sorts of different ways. Some positive, some negative. You hear maybe amongst one Solificati that they may be like she's like this mythic figure of long past, but she's on she would be on the same level of enigmatic mystery of a mythic figure, equally to like Hercules
Gotcha. So yeah. Okay.
or Jesus, even. Was
And then,
Jesus real? Was Lilith real? It's like on that level.
gotcha.
Was she mage? Was she a vampire?
Okay.
What's the truth?
Okay. So the Sabbat do like different ethic paths and stuff. Does your sect do anything in particular?
Well, it's a bit complicated, but for the most part, we just try to. I mean, it's mostly a front for the elders, but here in the, she kind of rolls her eyes. The Camarilla, they
Anarch.
huh?
Are you an anarch?
Why are you whispering?
I don't know. Just looks around.
Yes, I'm an anarch.
So you're not in the Camarilla?
All vampires, according to the Camarilla, are part of the Camarilla. Even the Sabbat, even though they claim, but they're enough of a faction, a foothold to say that they are one. The Anarchs are kind of a faction within the It's really complicated. Basically, we're kind of a faction within the Camarilla who wants to exude their own influence. We don't have a lot of territory, but we kind of, when we don't have it, we keep the powers that be in check. Make sure they don't abuse their authority.
Huh.
And make sure their bullshit is called out.
Okay. So the ethics thing, because I derailed that.
Basically, we try to stick to being human.
Good. I like that more. Because Spot has a bunch of different things, but I was wondering if like anything, because Lilith had come up a couple times in there.
I don't really know much about Lilith. I'm talking about like
Adam's first wife.
Huh?
Adam's first wife.
Yes, that whole biblical, that whole. Well, I don't think that was in the Bible, but
Didn't make it in.
no.
If I remember right, there was a story where an angel raped a woman that did not make it in the Bible.
There are all sorts of weird stories about all sorts of things.
There's a lot of rape in old stories.
Rape was a common thing. Still is today, unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway,
If there's anyone like that, let me know. I'll beat the shit out of them.
what, rapey?
Anybody.
Oh, anybody that's okay.
Look, there's someone bullying your mage friends. I'll handle it.
I mean, I would appreciate it. I don't really have any.
You don't have any?
No, they disappeared. Both of them.
That's right. They disappeared. Do you have any...
doing?
Do you know where you can find more mage friends? Because I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have to be like together? Or you like the wolves, where you need to?
Oh, no.
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 Okay.
The wolves had to be together.
And she's like, "Well, I hear they really hate being alone. It's one of the tactics I heard is try to split them up. If you hear about them in the city and about their moves, try to cut them off from each other, make it harder for them to communicate."
I mean, that makes sense. We're wolves hunting packs.
Mm-hmm.
Not speciesist, but kind of.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. How does that? I don't know much about the dealings in vampires and werewolves, and I mean, I know Underworld, but I a feeling that's not completely accurate, if at all.
I don't know. I don't really remember Underworld very well,
It's because it was
but
terrible.
yeah. It's not really. It's not really like that.
It's good.
I mean, they hate us. We don't really hate them, but we hate them because they hate us. So
It's a
they're very aggressive. If they see us and smell us, they pretty much attack on sight.
That sucks. I'll work
Yeah,
on I'll work on that squirt gun
that'd be nice.
or blow dart or something.
I like to give them a bit of a surprise if they ever try to get me.
Could do napalm silver.
Whew.
Wonder if I can make that work. I think I could.
Just don't blow up the district.
Oh no, I'll have to find a place I can go and practice something. But yeah, I could do that. I think
Do what?
a napalm silver gun.
You go, girl.
I gotta work it out.
Is this okay if I show you something? I need some help with something.
Sure.
She kind of gets up. She turns around and she heads back. She goes into her room. You can hear a drawer being opened and closed. You hear her stepping back into back onto the couch. And she seems to be carrying an orange, large filing envelope. She says, "Think you might be interested in this?"
She looks at it curiously. We'll take it if she's allowed.
Yep, she's allowed to take it.
Okay. She will open up and take a look.
Opening up, you see some pamphlets, some documents, and various different alchemical notes. Quickly, as you kind of scour through, you realize these are Sabbat alchemical codexes.
Huh. And who practiced that more? The Zemisi, I guess?
Zemisi, priests in general, priests within the Sabbat, and Lasombra, shockingly enough.
That makes sense.
And whatever sleeper adherents they would have. Ghouls and the like.
Yeah. Huh. Where did you get them?
I don't know what they were. A friend didn't know what they were. Found it. It was in that warehouse that I was talking about.
Right.
There was some extra information in there, but most of it was that, and well, we couldn't really puzzle through any of the symbology of it.
Okay. So go out to the. I assume there's a kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She'll go flop down in her seat and get some paper and start looking them over.
Okay. Roll me your intelligence and esoterica. Difficulty 7.
Esoterica's 3, so 7 dice. Where's that? There we go. Oh, only one. Huh. Okay.
So 0 successes. That sucks.
Yeah.
You're looking through them, and you're not sure if it's you're tired or because of that weird dream. But these are complicated, and you were never one to think the Sabbat is not maybe manipulative, organized, ruthless, not necessarily brilliantly complicated with their alchemy. The symbology is very elusive and weird. Doesn't really match up to anything you know very well. You're just not able to come up with all the knowledge that's in the back of your mind. Right now, the least you can get is that this is some very, very complicated ritual documents and ciphers.
It's probably the hardest she's seen, I would guess.
Yeah, pretty much some of the hardest stuff you've seen.
She kind of rubs her eyes.
You might need to have another time to look this over because it's Jesus. And there's a very there's a very touching it, just touching these documents, you feel like your humanity is at risk.
Okay, I'm gonna try something stupid.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Okay. I am going to attempt to get an impression off of them.
How so?
I believe you can do that with mind.
Matter in mind, yeah.
Yeah. How am I going to do that? Let me see. This is where the foci comes in.
So how do you do that,
Okay.
ma'am? Sir? Ma'am? Sir, ma'am? Sam?
Where I work.
There we go.
She'll have a pair of glasses she puts on. It has, the ones that have like the colored lenses you can flick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She'll flick those on.
Okay.
And then she'll flick to, if you mind, I guess some more orange tinge.
Okay.
Orange lenses on. And then she'll just hold it and then look at it. That'll be her foci to try to get an impression from it.
I like it. 3 + 1 to 4. Do you do anything to reduce the difficulty, or do you an attributed ability roll?
You can do contestants to lower, right?
You can, or you could just take an extra turn.
Yeah, I'll just do
Minus it by 1.
Yeah, I'll just do
Wanted
that.
to save the quintessence there.
Okay, so what is the it's a willpower roll, or
It is a arete roll. You roll your arete at the difficulty. You only need 1 success since this is a simple effect.
I'm gonna blow willpower.
Your arete difficulty 3. Sure.
So I'll just have 1 success. But I'll roll anyway because I want to get used to
Yes,
doing
roll your dice. It's the 3, man. You might get it.
Yeah. 2 F3. Okay, that did not work. I did the wrong thing. I was trying to do 3, 10, 2. Oh, a 2. Okay, I didn't even need to do that.
You got 3 successes. Okay. So as you put on these glasses, the energy that hums within these pages, the energetic frequencies, you feel them and see them on a whole. It's like seeing them allows you to feel the energies on a holistic level. And there is you hear the deep resonating hums of the material energy, and you can see the psychic energy imprinted and left on the writings and the scrawlings and the words behind what you see. And there is a almost like a regal kind of religious worship over something that feels really nasty to you. It feels nasty. Like there's just something nasty about these documents. Kind of it kind of jolts your imagination into negative spirals that you kind of, well, that's what it does.
Okay.
That's what you see.
Taking handwritten notes. I probably should put one of these on my computer. Okay. She'll take her glasses off and just kind of close her eyes and take a deep breath. Okay. I'm gonna need more time with them, but there's definitely some malice here with these, and I'm getting a kind of religious and legal feeling from it.
Regal feeling. Oh yeah, that's the La Sombra. I was thinking that on top.
But it's really bad. And from what I remember, they don't usually have nothing they have that I'd ever seen supports them being this complex. So, I mean, I can crack it. It's just going to take me a while.
These are the documents of someone high up. If this is someone in the Sabbat. Well, did we crack the mother lode in a bad way or a good way?
I don't know if it's plans for something or they're worshiping something. I don't know if it's this specifically, but that would make sense. So you might have.
It's they're worshiping something out of character.
Huh?
It's less that they're worshiping something and more they're worshiping a certain act, a certain ritual.
Okay. All right. So it's like they're worshiping a ritual or something or an act.
Oh. I'll keep working on it. Maybe it's just some of their freakies who worked on some of their dream projects or something really vile. Either way, if you can keep working on it, I'd appreciate it.
I will. I'm gonna.
And hey, if it gets too much, I can always find someone else.
No, I can do it. I can do
All right.
it.
My girl. And she kind of just bops you on the shoulder.
Just be careful.
Right. Don't want to damage the precious goods.
No. I'm fine. I mean, with them, this is big. It feels horrible.
I'll let everyone, at least on my end, I'll let everyone know that Sabab might be cooking up something. Maybe you might want to send something to whoever you might know on your end.
Yeah, I'll have to go to. I'll have to just walk in there one day and see who's about. But
Well, you do what you have to do.
Trying to think who I can let know. Okay, so they gave you dummy ones too?
They did.
Do you still have them?
I could get my friend to get them. Sure.
Okay, I want to try to read the feeling on that too. See if I can get anything off of it.
All right.
That'll probably help. And if they were trying to misdirect you, sometimes that gives you more info than they meant to leave.
That's what I found funny. But that's the thing. Don't underestimate these guys. They may be brutal, but they're smart. That's what's scary about them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably less Sombra. Okay, spot question. Would she know about things with 3 dots with like the key acid or the Harbinger of Skulls?
Those you've heard maybe like descriptions and rumors of, but not names.
Okay.
I remember meeting Gary. Man, have you ever met Gary? Yeah, I know Gary. Yeah, man, why the fuck is he always hanging out in that library and look all freaking creepy and shit? I don't know, man. He's one of those weird ones. Yeah. You know, you've heard that.
Right. Okay.
You haven't heard any name. You haven't learned the name Kia Sidner.
So she could maybe make a leap that they might have some scholars among them, but not. Oh,
you could make that leap.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they have a very religious element to the Sabbat. And there's also they have priests, so it's a logical leap to think that they have they have scholars. I mean, hey, they took on mages like you.
Yeah. They if I recall from like their inception, they were supposed to be they were more or less anarchs when they first came out, right?
I don't remember, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, vampire! So much to it.
Yeah, vampire.
Okay. And okay, where was the warehouse at?
On the side of the city, Downing Street. And careful of that territory. That seems to be a little bit of a staging ground of theirs.
Yeah. I might go during the day one day and have a look.
All right. But be careful.
I'll be fine. Check for any impressions left on the warehouse.
Hey, with that fancy awakened soul of yours there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's it like to see the sun? That fancy awakened soul of yours.
It's different than it was when I wasn't. It's brighter. I can, in my mind, I can kind of see the flares of the gas and the plasma and everything else. And then I kind of realize eventually it's going to burn out. But it's real all-encompassing sometimes. So much energy in one place. And then you kind of follow the rays down. You know how, like, remember how I used to shoot through the clouds and just hit one spot?
I have to go tomorrow morning to replace the phone, but you won't be able to reach me for 1 hour.
Say that one more time, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You remember how the rays used to come out of the clouds and just point directly to a certain spot?
Yeah.
And it was so much brighter then, but it's like a spotlight, that much brighter in the night sky during the day.
That's crazy.
Do you miss it?
I don't. I like the night, but I don't know. One day I wanna. It's cheesy, the idea of thinking of vampires in space, but it'd be nice at the very least to see it again. All on its lonesome glory.
I can. Oh. Let me see. I have with mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I project images from my mind?
Minor visual or audio hallucinations. Very minor. Like, oh, there's a fly in your eye, or oh, I can hear there's a cat meowing.
Okay. I can do something close.
Oh, what's that?
Okay. She'll reach into, I guess, a little pouch she has. Yeah, 'cause she's sort of close from the night before. All right. A little bit of powder on her fingertips.
What are you doing?
I'll still, you'll be fine. She'll touch her temples and kind of rub the powder in. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Um, okay, can't do. Yeah, project images 3.
Yeah, like doing full, like what I, if you wanted to show her,
What it looks like.
yeah, it would be 3.
Okay, she's going to send her. She's going to think about it, how the sun makes her feel, and then send it to her that way. Do the mental images.
Ooh, I like that. So you're sending the feeling of
Yes.
the memories of your feelings. Okay, that works. Now here's the problem. Your difficulty is 7 because that's her willpower.
Gotcha. Okay, so I already spent a will. I can. All right, I'll spend a willpower. And then I'll make the rolls.
Do you spend quintessence or use any ability roll to reduce the difficulty?
I'll spend a quintessence.
Okay.
Okay.
Down difficulty 6.
6. Okay, so 1 per.
You need at least 2 successes.
Okay, so I've got 1 from the willpower. First.
Mhm.
Oh, there it is, London Bridge.
Good luck.
Got 1. Okay, so we got 2.
So you got 2 successes. You kind of put your temples there. You feel a charge of energy moving through the powder into her mind. You can even feel this essence of your feelings pour into her mind through her temples. You can see the third. You can see her pineal gland. You can see her pineal gland charging, filled with the DMT reacting in there. Various different chemicals are just kind of being unleashed in her body. She blushes.
Yeah. It's hard to do, too. She's
Yeah.
being dead.
Like she literally looks like she's like alive temporarily.
Nice.
She's just kind of closing it there for like a few minutes. It's almost, it's been a decent amount of time, maybe 5 minutes or so, until she just kind of snaps out of it and just starts slobbering your knob. Just starts making. If you allow it,
No,
she starts making out with you.
That's fine. She'll do that as long as she wants.
You can kind of feel the warmth between each other through the mental connection that still kind of remains. And you actually don't feel her skin as this cold, weird stuff. You feel her as though you were touching another human being and kissing another human being.
Nice.
And it feels good.
Sweet.
And I think we'll end it there.
Sounds good.
That's a good place to end it. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a good one.